WEREHUAHUA. Hua. That's dumb. I'm going to say wah-wah.
Hi, this is the Professional Amateur Hour coming to you with another review. This week, I checked out Curse of the WEREHUAHUA, and this 2021 film was written, directed, and stars Lucas Milhouse, and of course there's other actors like J.R. Timothy and Brittany Shammy, among others of course. The story of this movie is about these two best friends, and they do most stuff together, and so one day they're out in the park, and one of them gets bitten by a radioactive Chihuahua, which of course causes the one guy that it does bite to get cursed, and he is cursed to be a WEREHUAHUA, which is like a werewolf, but a Chihuahua werewolf. And so he changes into a WEREHUAHUA all the time, and he kind of loses control of himself and starts killing people. And so him and his best friend kind of have to figure out how to hide these bodies, and then a vampire shows up, and then a WEREHUAHUA hunter shows up, and they all have to deal with all of this stuff. Along the way, they're just cracking jokes all the time, and so what will happen? Well, for that, you gotta watch the movie and find out. Alright, so let's discuss this movie. Well, with this one, it is a comedy, and as we say on this channel, of course, comedy is subjective, so it might not be for everyone, but I did find that the comedy aspect of it was actually pretty funny. I certainly chuckled quite a bit. They have a lot of jokes that do land, and a lot of setups as well, so proper honest to goodness jokes. And then they also have ones that are more kind of gag reel or physical comedy, and those work as well. They even have kind of ones where it's just kind of exverts your expectations on what these characters are supposed to be doing. Like they have the main friend, the writer, director, actor guy, Lucas. I think he goes by a character named of Gary in this one. So they do play with the expectations of, what Gary is. He's, a big, strong guy, but then his friend calls him Gare Bear, and so that's, funny. And then he's also simping for his girlfriend, and his girlfriend makes him does chores and do dances for her in order to, get kisses or whatever. And so just kind of, playing with those roles that you would regularly assume. And they certainly subvert some of those roles. And then with other things like that. So it's just kind of jokes all the way, all the time. And they're just, working towards their next joke. So yeah, the comedy, for me at least, I thought it was, decent enough where it is, certainly amusing. Let's say that. Other than that, with this one, I thought the WEREHUAHUA costume was pretty good. It's not something they just, bought off the internet. It looks like they actually kind of made one specifically for this movie, and it is a low budget movie, so you don't know how much they have to spend on it. I think I saw on IMDb it was like 50,000 or something for the whole movie, and so having such a good WEREHUAHUA costume I thought worked. It's of course just a werewolf costume, but certainly a little bit different with the shape of a WEREHUAHUA's head is certainly, I think, reflected in the costume. They also have practical blood and stuff. I think they do have maybe a few CGI blood splatters here or there, but for the most part, they get blood on them, and they get covered in blood one time. And I don't know, it's just kind of the practicality of it, especially as a low budget movie, I think does work. It certainly adds professionalism to it, so that is good as well. And also with this movie, it is over 2 hours. I think it's 2 hours and 8 minutes or something like that. But it's well paced enough where it really doesn't feel like 2 hours. And that's always good. They're always, doing a different skit or working towards a different punchline. And I don't know, it makes it go quite fast. So that's good. And it's a low budget movie, so they don't have too much, to work with. I think even the final scenes are just in a park, somewhere around them, and you can see, I guess, kind of other park goers in the background, and some building. I guess it's an office building surrounded by this park, and so they're just working with what they got. And so I think adds to kind of the charm of the movie, certainly, and the fact that it is so long but you don't feel it, I certainly think is a good thing. And that brings me to what doesn't work with this film. Well, I would say that time commitment of 2 hours is kind of the biggest thing. And they certainly get there by keeping everything in the movie. They must have filmed so many different scenes and then thrown none of them away, or, you know, edit them out, is what I mean. And so they just keep everything. If they shot it, they keep it. So it does make it so that there are these scenes that are not as well connected, I would say, to the rest of the movie, or not as well paced, and just kind of like, why are they doing this? Like, why are they going to the grocery store just for, you know, one joke? And yeah, so just certainly they keep it all in. Most jokes land, but, you know, there are a few that certainly don't as well. And yeah, so I wouldn't tell you which jokes land and fail. You'll have to, you know, discover it yourself. But that time, you know, length does make it seem like they're just putting everything into it. I would say, though, with it being 2 hours, it's fine for just, you know, a one night watch. Like, you got nothing else to watch, and this one will certainly take up that time, and, you know, maybe give you a few chuckles as well. With this one, it is on Tubi, so you can watch it over there, or at least at this time. So yeah, press play if you so choose to. As for a rating, well, ultimately, I thought it was better than average, but not above average, if that makes sense. So I gotta give it the 5.6. And with that being said, I think that's all I wanted to say. So like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.